Welcome to Operation Healing Heroes. Join me today as we feature 101-year-old U.S. Navy veteran George Hamilton in Birmingham, Alabama at Rickwood Field, the oldest ballpark in America.
They served for us. They sacrificed for us. Their stories deserve to be told. Every military veteran has a story to tell. Join our host, Jay Garstecki, as we honor the stories of our true American heroes, one soldier at a time. The mission today is Operation Healing Heroes. Brought to you by Great Clips.
Starts his wind up again. Here it comes. He swings, hits the fly, going into right field. Campbell's going over way over there near the line. It's up there. It hits that against that wall, bounced out in there. Gilbert pulls up at second base with a two-base hit.
For over a century, Rickwood Field has carried not just the history, but the spirit of baseball. Echoes of cheers resonate through the hallowed halls of what has long been a literal time capsule of America's pastime.
Can I hold to you?
You absolutely
All
can.
right. You get to be 101 now, you see, you got to have a little help here and there.
Birmingham's hometown hero, George Hamilton, left his indelible mark on Rickwood Field. George played in the Industrial League after his service in the Navy during World War II.
So you remember playing here at this field?
Oh, yes. I played amateur ball here, but it was actually semi-pro because most of us got paid to play anyway.
Couple $1 million, I bet you, contracts?
Oh, no.
Although he doesn't have many home runs to his name, George hit a grand slam when he accepted Christ into his life.
I don't want to be a bore or anything, but I want to give him all the credit, and I'll be mentioning his name spasmodically as we go through, if that's okay.
Amen to that.
I say, because I love the Lord, and He's done something for me that no one else could have done. Everything I am and everything I hope to be is because of what the Lord has done for me.
Tell me about growing up. Where'd you grow up?
Well, which time? I was born in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana. I lived in Arkansas, Missouri, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. I guess when the rent came due, my daddy had to leave. I spent the Depression years, we'll put it that way. That's the years I grew up in Alabama. And the more I look back at my life during that Depression, the more I think it was a blessing to live during that time. We learned so much and learned so much about people that back in those days, 90% of the people didn't have anything. And I tell everybody, if I had 2 biscuits and you didn't have one, I'd eat one and give you the other one. And that's the way everybody was.
Tell me about the time leading up to you getting into the war. Were you drafted, or did you?
No, of course I registered for the draft. Anybody over 18 registered for the draft. Never heard from them anymore. And one morning I went to work, and my boss's name was John, and I said, "Where's John?" He joined the Seabees. I said, "Well, if he joined them, that's good enough for me." And the Seabees was part of the Navy construction battalion. And said, "I want to join the Seabees." And finally he said, "You don't want to get in the Seabees." Said, "You get in the regular Navy now." And said, "If you get in the Seabees, they'll put you on an island over there and forget about you." Well, I let him talk me into it. He said, "If you get on the Navy, you'll get aboard ship and you'll see everything." I joined the Navy, got on a ship, they put me in the Aleutian Islands and forgot about me.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, the Yance Valor Foundation, and by the Al Lynch Foundation.
Operation Healing Heroes is a nonprofit organization dedicated to documenting the lives of our U.S. military veterans. In addition, we also provide financial support and treatment for post-traumatic stress. Your donation will help heal our heroes.
Don't throw it any lower than that, because I'm not going to try to catch it. I can catch.
You can catch. Keep it up, right?
Yeah, keep it up high now.
During World War II, Japanese troops were able to invade and occupy part of the Aleutian Islands. Their recovery became a matter of national pride, requiring additional U.S. troops.
He sent me to the Aleutian Islands to patrol up there so that the heroes could go get in battle. In those days, basic training was designed to last 16 weeks. We went through in 3 weeks because they needed personnel. I got assigned to go to radar school, which was a 9-month course. 3 weeks. He said, get what you can, and you can get educated aboard ship.
And what were the conditions like on the ship?
Well, the first ship I was on was built in 1923 as an anti-submarine vessel. And it wasn't built for World War II, to tell you the truth. But that's all we had after Pearl Harbor. So they pulled those out to destroyers and cruisers. And I happened to get on one that was, I'll tell you, it was 306 feet long, pointed on both ends. Across the beam, its widest place was 32 feet. And we drew 9 feet of water.
Wow.
Which is not very
That's not much at all.
You don't have much stability. And a calm sea in the Aleutian Islands is about 4-foot waves. So we never sailed even. It was always this way. But it was fun. It was designed for 105 people, officers and men. We had 242 on there.
Wow.
We got bombed several times by air raid bombs, and had a couple of close calls. And that's another thing. The wind was, we anchored. When we anchored, we were in this position. Well, the wind blew the ship around. As I came on deck, I got wet by where the bombs had hit the water, and they went right down the way we were anchored. We listed 57 degrees one night. And they said if we'd have gone another degree, we wouldn't have come back up.
Really?
I was on deck. If it had been 10 seconds later, I'd have been out in the middle of the deck, and I'd have been gone. That was the Lord looking after me. And, but you know, what I thought about, it wasn't scared. I looked down and saw that deck underwater. And I said, George, you're gonna get wet when that comes back up. I did. I remember, gotta be up here.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm going with my fastball though first.
Okay.
This is for real now.
All right.
This is the bottom of the 9th, 2 out, 2 men on. Hard. Oh! That one's over the fence. Good job, young man.
I'm surprised I hit that many.
You hit almost all of them.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Power Pole, and by St. Croix Rods.
He called me out at first, and I knew I was safe. George, if you don't hush, I'm gonna throw you out of the ballroom. I said, you ain't got the guts. You're out of here.
He threw you out. You were the first one, huh?
And that's the only time I ever got thrown out of the ballroom.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage, follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're a U.S. military veteran in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, or beautiful sunny Florida, log on to our website, takeavetfishing.org to find an event near you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America's oldest baseball park, Rickwood Field. Today is a special day as we host the Carver Rams and the mighty Jackson-Ole Mustangs. Throwing out our first pitch honorary guest, World War II veteran and 101-year-old former baseball player, Mr. George Hamilton.
To this day, Rickwood Field is still actively honoring the game of baseball, both with its museum and hosting local high school and college games.
How about a round of applause? Now let's play ball.
So you live to be 101 years old. Tell me what the secret is.
Get up every morning, put your feet flat on the floor, look up to the Lord and say, thank you for one more day. And if he gives you enough days,
You
you'll
live to be 101. There you go. Amen to that.
That's as simple as I know how to put it.
A simple recipe for life indeed. As simple as baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie.
I got aboard the crew for the Orlick in, I guess it was May of '45. The captain told us that we were going to be a picket ship for the invasion of Japan. And we was, oh man, we were so happy. We didn't realize that a picket ship was a suicide deal.
No.
But a picket ship in those days was ran 50 to 75 miles in front of the task force. And we were the eyes and the ears. We were to tell them who was there, what type was there, how many, and stop what we could. We got on a mission one night, and we got underway, and the captain told us after we were underway, this is our orders. Report the number of ships, the types of ships, fire torpedoes, and ram the nearest ship. Well, did we get scared? No. Hey, when we get aboard, when we ram that ship and board it, I'm gonna get me a what do they call them, samurai swords. I'm gonna get one of them so I have it when I get out of the Navy. And then I say, my friend Harry, President Harry Truman, ordered the atomic bomb dropped. I said, my friend Harry saved my life. Because he did that, and people criticized him back in those days for killing all those civilians. But they were notified every day for 9 days before they dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima that to get out, that something was going to happen that had never happened in the world before, and they could not survive it. Now, whether they stayed in defiance of that or whether the military and government made them stay, we never did know, but it wasn't his fault. What I remember more than that is the surrender, and that was a great, great day in the lives of all servicemen that day.
I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan. In the reply, there is no qualification.
We got back from Guantanamo Bay around the 15th of December, and we pulled into Charleston, South Carolina. And I decided that, hey, I'll just hitchhike to get home. And I caught a ride out of Memphis to Tupelo, Mississippi. Like most people, everybody'd say they're glad to see you and so glad you survived and you're getting back home and things will get back to normal. But you're talking about being in uniform, we got out of those uniforms as fast as we could because for 40 months, that's all I could wear.
The mission of the Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. Visit qovf.org for more information.
If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Power Pole, Wiley X, and by Recon Boats. With the surrender of Japan on September 2nd, 1945, it marked the end of World War II. Estimated at more than 50 million deaths, the most violent military conflict in human history had concluded at last.
So now you're back home, and it's after the war. Tell me about the first time that you laid eyes on Linda Gurley.
Well, I got home in December the 23rd, and we had what you call a 5220 club. Every serviceman that got discharged could get $20 a week for a year. Well, in 1945, 46, $20 was a lot of money, you know, especially to service people. So I said, well, what's the use of going back to work? I can stay at my daddy's house and don't have to pay any rent and get my food. Well, in February, the man I'd worked for come to my house. He said, when are you going back to work? I said, well, I hadn't thought much about it, you know. And he said, be at the office in the morning at 8 o'clock. I said, okay. So I went up there, and I saw this little lady sitting over there, beautiful young lady, and I made my mind up then, that's the girl I'm gonna marry. And it took me 2 weeks to ask her for the first date. And we had a long courtship. We decided that we was gonna get married, and we got married on our 12th date. That was a long time, you know. And I hadn't told you this either. I proposed to her in a cemetery. I don't know what we were doing there. It was a Saturday morning. Then after we were married for a while, she told me that she told the people in the office that she's gonna marry me too. So it was the Lord. The Lord, He put us together there.
Amen.
And it was a great marriage. I had a wonderful, wonderful wife that gave me 3 wonderful children. And I think about that. I think about that a lot, if you want to know the truth. I went through a depression where a lot of people died of starvation. I went through World War II where millions were killed, no harm, and got home, and I still didn't know the Lord. Got married, and she'd asked me to go to church with her, and hey, back in those days, for me, the weekends were made for me to play baseball, and I couldn't understand why people didn't come see me play. My ego was about this high. But she kept praying for 3 years. And then I found the Lord. And that was the highlight of my time at that time, was finding the Lord. And the older I get, the more I wonder about what heaven's gonna be. And I don't have a clue, but I know it's gonna be paradise. And somebody said, well, where's paradise? Wherever Jesus is. Wherever Jesus is paradise. And I love it.
I got a little something I want to give to you for your time today and for sharing your story with us. So what I have for you right here is a baseball bat that was custom made for you, and it says here, custom made in honor of George Hamilton, World War II Navy veteran. And that's a red, white, and blue baseball bat for you.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's something. That is something.
And no baseball player is complete without their own jersey, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we got you your own
Hey,
jersey, your
look at
Operation
that.
Healing Heroes jersey, and
Right.
we got your name on the back of it.
Hey, that's funny. You know, all the time I was coaching the church softball team, after I was 90, well, they started putting my number, each year they'd change my number to my age.
Well, now you got one that says you're
Got one,
101.
and there's something about that third cylinder. Hey, see that? That's what I say. That's how I tell people I'm 101.
101, I love it. If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org, and click on the nominate button.